Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. Know you're getting up and about. A lot of people up early this morning. It feels great outside.
Really
so I know you and I probably would have liked to have gotten a maybe 30 more minutes of sleep at least.
10.
10, 15. I think you did just a minute ago. I think you grabbed 5 minutes from me just a second ago. But anyway, it feels good outside. College football's back in this state. A lot of people heading down to the game at Auburn, getting ready, having, the first game is always, let's go and get down there early. It doesn't matter what time the kickoff is, if it's at 6:30, 7, or if it's 1:30. Let's get on down there and get tailgating set up and just get in the flow and let's watch some football throughout the day and get ready. I just hate that Alabama plays the same time Auburn plays because I do, even though you and I choose different teams here in the state, I do like watching Alabama games. And,
got to.
And you like watching Auburn games. And I know you're pulling for the opponent and I'm pulling for the opponent, but still, that's just part of it. It kind of gives us a couple of games to really get into in the state. But we'll get into college football in the second hour. We'll dive up into some more of these scores here in the High School Athletic Association from around the state. I'm going to go back and leave off where we left off in that last segment. Lee beating Park Crossing 28-17. Are you shocked by that score? I'm not. Robert E. Lee's loaded. They got a lot of great players down there.
I'm not shocked. I'm glad to see. I guess I'm glad to see it come to fruition that Montgomery is making more of a comprehensive turnaround versus, a few years ago it was just Carver, Montgomery, and that was it.
That's right.
And then it was Park Crossing, and
That's
that
right.
was it. And
That's
now
right.
you're seeing Lanier, you're seeing Robert E. Lee, you're seeing J.D. be okay. I mean, it's just down the line. Right. It's nice.
Phoenix City puts up a big number, 62-0 over Fairfield. So Central Phoenix City is going to be another one of those 7A teams that you watch every year, and they've got again a lot of prospects on that football team.
Well, they're the number one team in the state right now in 7A. They've got Justin Ross, and he had a 58-yard touchdown, and then another nice catch for blank amount of yards. He also returned a punt about 55 yards for almost a touchdown. Where does he end up? My guess is he's going to end up at Alabama, but, I don't feel great about that. I'm going to tell you who I think his main competition is right now. Alabama's main competition is Clemson. If he were signing today, I might put money on Clemson. But
hard to leave the state, though.
I think in the end, it's hard to leave the state.
Yeah. Yep, it tends to win out when all things are equal. Here's something I want to talk about. And I just saw it and it just went away from me. I'll try to find it again. But Foley High School lost last night, Luke. And did I read an article? They lost to Fairhope 28-23. Did I read an article where somebody said that this is their pick to win 7A this year, that Foley would jump up there and surprise people this year and win 7A?
I did see that some people suspected they would be good this year.
Didn't get off to a great start last night.
It's not a good start.
Yeah, I don't think they were expected to lose to Fairhope, and that's no knock on Fairhope. Fairhope's always had a good program down there. But Foley, not quite sure they're ready to jump up into that level.
Julio
of talk.
Jones ain't walking through that door.
No, we're not flashing back to those days. McGill-Tulane with a 15-6 win over Davidson. Is McGill-Tulane, they beat Spanish Fort last week in a close game, and now another club. There seems to me like not a lot of offensive points. In the championship game last year, they struggled to score. They're a defensive-minded team, but hey, a win's a win, right?
Look, you're just trying to fight through right now, and they've got a target on their back. So, and anytime you play Spanish Fort, it's going to be tough, and so I think they'll be okay. Let's give them another week or two.
Spain Park defeats Muscle Shoals 40-7. Oxford, here's a team you got.
I want to stop you right there.
Okay.
Spain Park's quarterback is Jay Barker's son, and I know he had a couple of passes. Now, he's not going to end up at Alabama. He's not going to end up at Auburn. He's going to play probably a smaller
Let me tell you what this makes me feel is old.
Yeah.
Jay Barker's son, Pat Nix' son. That 93 Iron Bowl or 90 was it the 93 Iron Bowl? Yeah, it was the 93 Iron Bowl where Jay Barker got hurt and Pat Nix comes in for Stan White, who got hurt in that game. Now we're talking about their sons playing in high school. So surely
Barker's one class ahead of me at Alabama. I remember him well. I was good friends with a guy named Jason Jack, who's a pretty famous doctor now in Birmingham. And Jason was third team on the quarterback, and he had a buddy that was my roommate, so we all hung out, and I got the most inside scoop of practice back then that I could get. This was pre-internet days, so I loved it. And but every day it was like, yeah, we worked on the fundamentals again today, because it was under the Gene Stallings regime.
Of
it
course.
wasn't. You're not going to do a lot of triple reverses.
No.
Or we handed it to David Palmer and said, everybody move.
Not a lot of secrecy going on there. Oxford beats Gadsden City 41-13. Man, I'm kind of shocked at how bad Oxford took it to Gadsden City right there. This is a Gadsden City team, again, that went to the semifinals last year in the 7A playoffs. Oxford is loaded this year. Benjamin Russell's got them in a couple of weeks. We'll see how that game plays out. But Oxford is a team that went undefeated in the regular season last year and had a hiccup early in the playoffs. Is this a team that can challenge in 6A this year?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Look, they've got a strong offensive line. They've got, according to most services, the best offensive lineman in the state for 2019. Not in the state, in the country, in Clay Webb. He just has gone to all these various camps and dominated. So, and the thing is, a lot of people project him as a center. I don't know that I've ever seen a kid that's a center ranked as a 5-star. But I've seen that with Clay Webb.
Pinson Valley, talk about Bo Nix, defeats Ramsey. Ramsey, the defending state champs, but they don't have Benico Holly anymore. So let me just tell you that I called that game last year against Opelika, and Benico Holly was the cog in the wheel. If they didn't, if Opelika, okay, I'm just going to go out and say this: if Ramsey had not had Benico Holly, Opelika, I think, cruises to an easy win.
They may not make the
Ramsey's
playoffs.
probably not even there to be playing them. To be honest with you, that's how important and how much of an impact one guy can be in any level of football when you got an outstanding athlete at quarterback. So Ramsey, they get the honor of having that number 1 ranking going into the season, but it was short-lived. Pinson Valley took them down 35-14.
We talked about this last night, JJ and I did. Everybody gets so bent out of shape that they're preseason polls in college football. And why do you do it? Because it biases the voting and the blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm fine with preseason in college football because at least we can study them. At least we can read magazines and find out about them. I would be more upset about preseason polls in high school football because you cannot convince me.
It's just all based off last year.
You cannot convince me a sports writer in Huntsville is going to do his homework about the teams in Mobile or vice versa.
Yep.
It just doesn't work that way.
Well, they're just basically going off how teams finish.
And I'm fine with it. And here's the other thing. In high school, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
At all.
It doesn't. Polls really don't. You got to have a poll to have something to talk about and rank the top teams in each classification, but the goal is to make the playoffs and go from there. So,
look, I'm pro ranking. I rank everything. I'm fine with it. I rank family members. But I'm just saying that it doesn't bother me, but some people get bent out of shape about, well, we shouldn't start college polls until midway through October. Why? We know enough now,
right.
And they start to work their way through.
I know you're not a big baseball fan, but the LA Dodgers right now are on pace to have I think they've won 91 games, but they had a rough week this week. I think they lost 5 in a row. That's the thing. You can win like the Seattle Mariners did several years ago, win a record amount of games and not even win the pennant. So you've won all these regular season games and you put yourselves in the position. But when you get to the playoffs, man, it's like you erase all that. That's just to earn your number 1 spot or your number 1 title. You got to take care of business in the playoffs. Well, that's the thing about the Dodgers. They're going to run away with the best record in baseball this year, even if they lose more games than they win coming down the stretch. But so the regular season doesn't mean as much when the playoffs start. Everybody forgets how many games you won. Well, polls the same way. In high school, you just want to get to the playoffs and kind of start over. I mean, if you want to talk about it, Oxford was undefeated. Hewitt-Trussville was undefeated last year. They go down in the playoffs, don't make it to the championship game. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue to run down scores and finish up high school football here in the state of Alabama. Stay tuned. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jewelry by Design is Auburn's premier jeweler for over 20 years. Mark and Tammy Nelson invite you to see their unique selection of engagement rings, each crafted to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, custom designed with only natural premium diamonds that are never enhanced. Jewelry by Design is also your officially licensed Auburn University jeweler that handcrafts all of their Auburn jewelry as unique as your passion for the Auburn Tigers. For jewelry that's crafted to your style, visit Jewelry by Design on Dean Road in Auburn or online at jewelrybydesignauburn.com.
In car ads, what is this? It discloses what you're not going to get that you thought you were. At Hyundai of Auburn today, buy a Santa Fe SUV, get $4,250 bonus cash, period. Here's our disclosure.
Hyundai of Auburn's your straight talk dealer. $4,250 to spend however you'd like. Plus, most Hyundai of Auburn cars are built locally. Free major repairs for 10 years, supporting the local economy and thousands in bonus cash to spend. Compare HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. We'll close out high school football here with about 9 minutes left in this first hour. Luke's waiting on 9 o'clock so he can go to bed.
Yes, you got that right. You kite about that, Roach. I will talk about, you said, are there any other games out there? How about Spanish Fort and Daphne? And, boy, you want to talk about snake bit. Okay, so Daphne goes up 7-0 midway through the first, right? It's at Daphne.
Yep.
They've got a losing streak against Spanish Fort. Daphne's the 7A. Spanish Fort's the 6A. So Daphne really wants to make something happen. Kenny King, former Alabama defensive lineman.
And Spanish Fort split from Daphne, just to add that out there for people that
that's
don't
true.
know.
That should be thrown out there. But so Daphne really wanting to make something happen. They're up 7-0. Well, they can't really, penalties cost them. They just keep costing them. And it's 7-0, 7-0. Then late in the second, Daphne, in their own territory, decides to punt the ball. They should have punted the ball. It's 4th down and all. And it's blocked. Goes out of the end zone. Now 7-2. So they kick it back on the free kick, and Spanish Fort kicks a field goal from 50 yards out. 7-5 at the halftime. You don't see that a lot.
Baseball down there?
I know. So nothing happens in the third. Nothing happens in the fourth. Nobody scores. Daphne actually does some things, but again, penalties cost them just like they did in the week before.
So this game was 7-5 going into the latter
deep
part.
Into the game. Spanish Fort gets one more attempt on their own 47 with about 4 minutes left, I think. Daphne has 2 crucial penalties, one being a face mask and one, I think, being an offsides, that get them all the way down to the 1-yard line. Spanish Fort boots an 18-yarder as time expires. Daphne loses 8-7.
8-7.
That's hardcore. Well, and without giving up a touchdown. So, and I told
man.
JJ last night.
And look how they got their 8 points.
Think
man.
about this. Think about Daphne played Davidson last week, and they win 3-0. They played Spanish Fort this week, and they lose 8-7. So the good news is, even with your offensive struggles, you're 1-1. You've only scored 10 points as an offense. You're 1-1.
That's right.
The bad news is your defense has been absolutely incredible. Hadn't given up a touchdown all year and only given up 8 total points, and you're 1-1.
That's the bad. You played 2 really good teams, and if they can get any type of offense going, that team will be really tough down there. Kenny King taking over that football program.
And it would have been Spanish Fort's first time to start 0-2 since their initial year, which I think was 2006. Wow. Or maybe 2005. But so Daphne could have done all those, got over the hump, And they just, I mean, the penalties just killed them. And I know Kenny King's sick to his stomach today.
Right, I'm sure he is. That's a tough way to lose. You look up and you don't let anybody cross the goal line, but you lose by a point, 8-7. Got to figure out a way to put some points on the board. I mean, that's just the bottom line
Or
on it.
quit making penalties.
Or
I think
quit making penalties.
crucial.
But more of anything, don't put yourself in a position to where you're clinging to a 1-point lead or a 2-point lead, and you've only scored once yourself, and you got to just put more points on the board. Mountain Brook defeats Helena 41-0. You know, Helena is a program that's up and coming, hadn't been around a long time. They had some pretty good wins last year, got stronger as the year went on. But man, Mountain Brook, like you talked about, that matchup with Hoover next week, we'll see. You know, Mountain Brook has the opportunity to. That's the way it is. Everybody, we've talked this talk before with Hoover. Everybody's like, watch out, Hoover. You know, and Hoover ends up doing what we always expect Hoover to do. But this Mountain Brook team has some weapons over there, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and look, if Harold Joyner can score 4 touchdowns on this Hoover squad, then somebody's going. I mean,
Well, they'll raise eyebrows. There's no doubt about it. Here's one that I think shocked, maybe didn't shock anybody. Auburn High School breaks that losing streak against Opelika, 17-13, and this is after Opelika obliterated Smith Station. Now, I've heard that Smith Station not very good this year, and they turned the ball over like 4 times in the first 6 possessions inside their own 30, and Opelika got maybe a very short field and was able to cash in last week. But man, 13 points for Opelika. This is a team that was runner-up last year. They're on a big-time streak as far as what they've been able to do against their crosstown rivals in Auburn. Auburn has had their struggles. We've noted that on this program for the last 3 years. And they get over the hump and beat Opelika. What does this game tell you? What does this 17-13 score tell you here?
I'm not going to read a ton into it. Number one, it's a rivalry game, and so you never know with those sometimes. I think Opelika won pretty big last year.
They did.
Serves. But this year,
I don't think anybody saw
here's
this
the thing.
happen.
I think it says more about Auburn's being improved than it does about Opelika's taking a dip. Auburn is the 7A team. People forget that. Opelika is a 6A team. And it wasn't like –
It hadn't mattered, though, in the last 5 years.
But it wasn't like it was a blowout. And the interesting story here was there's – a name called Callie Chiswick on that team, and yes, that is Gene Chiswick's son, and he got his name, Brett, because Gene Chiswick once coached at Stephen F. Austin, and he had another player whose name was Callaway. I can't remember his last name, and I'm sorry about that, but they were very tight. It was a good coach-player relationship. Callaway was hit in the head, or took a hit to the head in practice. He ended up passing away from a brain aneurysm, and it affected Gene Chiswick a lot. So what he decided to do was, in honor of that player who passed away, name his son Callaway. And so he started calling him Callie. He had 2 big interceptions last night, and he was laying the wood all over the place. So this Auburn team is going to be scrappy. They've got another kid along the defensive line, and I'm going to have to work on my pronunciation before I bring him out. But he is going to be a 4-star kid in the 2019 class. Very, very good player.
Yep.
Look, another thing, you can go to, I showed you on my Twitter earlier, go to @LSRobinson21 and look at the highlight from last night. Some other kid, I want to say his last name was Porter, laid the wood to somebody from Opelika last night. And you want to talk about going to sleep.
Yeah, that went night.
It was a legal hit, and it was just beautiful.
It was. It's what football's all about. Let's go to the phone lines. JC, you're on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Hey, guys. I was just wondering if y'all had the 1A score for Harvey versus Irma.
Harvey versus Irma. Are we hurricaning it today?
Yes, it's Harvey Irma. I think that was right after the Janice versus Melba game.
There you go. There you go. That's good stuff there, JC.
I think
Would you like the Brindley Mountain Holly Pond score too?
Did you stay up all night combing the internet for that one?
Love the show.
Hey, I'll make sure to read off Beulah and Spring Garden too for you, okay?
Well, I won't give away who that was, but
the disguised voice may throw you for a loop.
I could feel he was wearing a fake mustache through the phone line, but he and I you get to be about midnight and you get a little stir crazy.
You get to be about 7:58 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we were laughing because you look through the 1A scores and they all do seem like really bad Southern names that just meet up. It seems like two old guys playing checkers, and you're like, Harvey beat Irma, he kinged him, or whatever, checkmate.
He just made checkers, chess,
whatever.
Hell, we got
just combined them all.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get out on this one. So if we didn't read your score, we apologize. A little bit delirious, but you can go on HSA.com and catch every score from last night. Speaking of that, you look down at 1A and Lynn beat Waterloo.
That's what we were saying. It's like they're all really bad. They're all the names of somebody's aunt or uncle.
I thought Napoleon conquered Waterloo years ago.
It's all the names of somebody's aunt or uncle. Yeah. It's like Melba.
And you better watch for Meek. I mean, Meek and mild. You better don't rest on them. They'll beat you, as they did last night against Hubbardsville, 30-13. Didn't know I'd read the Meek Hubbardsville score on the program this morning. That's going to wrap up the high school blitz portion of our program. We're going to take a break. Second hour college football. You better stay tuned. Never know where this one's going to go. You're watching the Saturday Sports Countdown.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At U.S. Ameribank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. Ameribank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. Ameribank difference. U.S. Ameribank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Sentricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Sentricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold, and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering for even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, second hour here as we count down to the kickoff of 2 really good games as far as what you're looking for, as far as Alabama and Florida State. obviously the premier college football kickoff game maybe ever. For Auburn fans, you get to see Jarrett Stidham today in full action against somebody other than a scrimmage game like an 8A game, and the expectations surrounding the Auburn football team. Plus, all the other games that are on today throughout the weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, so this is always a fun opening weekend for college football, Luke. And I guess we can start with Alabama, Florida State. We'd be really stupid if we started anywhere other than that. Let's talk about that. It's a game that when it was on the schedule, you don't know where you're going to be ranked. It just so happens that Alabama comes off another great year with Nick Saban. Florida State really put things together, got stronger as the year went on, just narrowly missed the playoffs and moving in. First shot at a national championship run themselves. So they come in with high expectations with Francois there at quarterback, Jalen Hurts back for Alabama, and all the pieces come together. Preseason poll puts them at number 1 and number 3, and there you go. There's the ingredients to the cake, and there's your cake.
Well, here's the thing. I think, first of all, they put this game together, I want to say 2015, so I bet you they knew both these teams are going to be pretty strong. They had a good feeling. Jimbo
Sometimes
Fisher
you just never know, though. You know,
yeah, I
mean,
those things can fall apart, but usually that's when you do the games 10 years in advance. I think they've gotten a much better handle on these games where they it's kind of like the Champions Challenge. You know, there's a feeling out period.
That's right.
Champions Challenge at first was, okay, let's just take the winners from the previous year. Well, you lose so much. And now they're like, okay, let's add in who's being recruited, who do we think is going to be good. And I think this worked out. It's the best. Look, it's the only time in college football history that a number 1 has started out against a number 3. So just read into that what you will. Throw in the fact that it's 2 traditional powerhouses, a couple of teams that have won multiple national championships since 1999. Throw in the fact that you're opening the new Mercedes Dome, and it's in Atlanta, so drivable for both universities. Toss in that you've got the honorary game captains. Oddly enough, Derrick Henry for Alabama, who won a Heisman, but is from Florida. Jameis Winston, who played for Florida State, won a Heisman and a national championship. Derrick Henry did too, but is from Alabama. So all these teams are so tied. Alabama recruits Florida so hard. Ronnie Harrison is from Tallahassee. And Jameis Winston, I mentioned him, but they've got some other guys. Chris Casher, who didn't really pan out, but they've got some guys from Alabama on Florida State's roster. Jimbo Fisher was part of the Nick Saban coaching tree. So, I mean, this has got so much riding on it. And it's funny because it is so big. It's ginormous. It's huge. But everybody loves to throw in the fact that, well, the loser's probably still in the playoff hunt, so it's not a real problem.
Well,
anyway,
no, it is.
And it is, but I just wish they wouldn't even say that because I like the winner-take-all atmosphere of it. But I think if the loser were out, here's the catch. If the loser of this game were out of the playoffs, and it was a decently tight game, I mean, barring a 48-0 blowout one way or the other, you would see people quit making this type of game. So I think it's great that they are doing this. And frankly, I think this should be 1 versus 2 after seeing Ohio State the other night. I'm not for punishing somebody in a 28-point win, but I would say I like Florida State over Ohio State right this minute.
Well, I think you got a good sample of what Ohio State is. I mean, even though week 1, and Ohio State will run that schedule because it is the Big Ten, and there's not a lot of tough teams up there, Luke. And I'll flip back since you said that. I had that right in front of me, and I wanted to bring that up. Indiana really, it's the same situation with Indiana as it always is. They play great for a half. They just don't have the depth in the players to stay up with the Ohio State team. Ohio State really kind of played terrible in the first half. They sleptwalked through the first half, and maybe they knew that. Maybe they knew that, we could come out here and drag around, and even we could get down 2 scores like we did, and we can come back and win handily. Ohio State just didn't look good on defense. They didn't look good in the secondary. They got picked on.
You know who was picked on?
Oh, they're the top corner.
Well,
out there.
Kendall Sheffield, who transferred from Alabama, went to JUCO, and then went to Ohio State. And there was actually a couple of old Alabama players, Alphonse Taylor being one of them, said, yep, that's the way he used to get beat in practice. Yep, that's the reason he transferred.
Well,
and Kendall Sheffield was a 5-star out of Texas, and long story, but
that sounds like a Lane Kiffin comment.
It does. It does.
See why he's over there on Ohio State's team?
It does. I'll say this too. That
Lane Kiffin left his book of insults at Alabama.
I hate to jump on Ohio State too much for a 28-point win. Because here's the thing. Last week, you know what I heard from Danny Cannell?
Has JT Barrett been there 10 years?
He's been there a long time. He's been there as long as Lorenzo
he added
Ward.
something to the end of his name, too. I think it's JT Barrett the fourth.
The fourth, that's
yeah,
right.
I mean, well, because that stands for how many years?
How many decades he's been there.
Exactly.
So I heard something last week. You know, Danny Cannell's made his way back to Sirius XM, which is now ESPNU radio, right? And none of us really wanted him back. I think I speak for Alabama and Auburn fans when I say don't really dig his analysis that much. He's not an SEC guy, and he's contradictory just to be that way. But he said something funny to me. He said, I feel like Florida State's going to win because last year, Florida moved the ball on Alabama for half a quarter. And I'm thinking, this is how we're narrowing this down. I mean, and that's why I kind of felt sorry for Ohio State. Everybody's like, oh, they look so bad for a half. Yeah, but they did come out and win by 28. And I agree that they have some deficiencies, especially in the secondary. But we're narrowing down the elite teams to if one team gets one scoring drive, you're like, they got flaws.
Yeah, I see your point. But I after watching Ohio State and Indiana, I mean, there's some holes in that Ohio State team. This is not some elite. I'll tell you what it tells me about. It tells me that that the haves and the have-nots, there's not a lot of separation anymore in college football. I mean, if you continue to play like crap for 4 quarters, Indiana can beat you. And if you don't have your head in the game, Ohio State has better players. They've recruited a lot better. When have you seen Indiana in the top 50 in recruiting in the last 15 years in football? I mean, the deal is, though, you can have enough horses and enough players early in a game to stay with some of these teams, but the difference is the depth and maybe the coaching that comes out. Maybe you can turn it around, but it tells me that there's not a lot of separation between the haves and have-nots.
Well, I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time. I'm going to say maybe the top 22, there's not a lot of separation.
That's right.
But in that depth is where the separation is, and that's where things are split apart. And so again, I look at the whole game with Ohio State. Yes, I think they have holes. If Kendall Sheffield is starting for them all year, number one, I'm going to be surprised. Number two, they're going to get beat. I don't know who's going to beat them, but they're going to beat them. It may be Oklahoma next week.
Don't they always lay an egg against somebody?
That's true too.
And I'll say this about Alabama, and it's not coming as a shot against across the bow because Alabama's proven, but it seems like other teams on their egg laying moment they go ahead and have the full egg. Alabama gets the egg halfway out, and they're about to lay it, and it goes back up in the chicken. So, I mean, it's like, Ole Miss, last year, it just seems like every team is going to have a game where they don't quite do what they need to do. And can you survive that moment? Can you play like crap and survive that moment? Or do you go ahead and lay that egg and have a loss? I know we got to get to a break, Luke. I'll let you get on a comment on that because we got to take this hard break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll talk about laying the eggs and chickens and stuff. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Saturday.
Sports Blitz Farming Hour.
That's exactly. We're following the Land Show right after this.
This segment of Sports Blitz.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile back splash with granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17th season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Summertime means savings time during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by Sunshine Heating and Air and JR Sports Bar and Grill. Game day here, Auburn versus Georgia Southern, Alabama versus Florida State. Been talking about Alabama, Florida State. We'll continue to talk about that. Let's run down some scores from Thursday night. Minnesota, Fleck in action for PJ Fleck coming over from Western Michigan. The Golden Gopher 17-7 over Buffalo. Wasn't anything special, but Minnesota gets some win. Do you think P.J. Fleck can get that program to a point of,
respectability?
Well, in the Big Ten, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he's a good coach, and look, he's going to have to do something different. You can't just come over there.
Well, he shaved his head. He buzz cut his head. Is that what you're talking about?
With the same row the boat mantra, but I think he can go over there with something new.
I don't know. Rowing the boat may work up in Minnesota.
Over in Minnesota, you need to push the snowmobile.
Well, exactly. Well, you can row it right now, but in a few months you won't be able to. Connecticut wins 27-20. Did I see something where they were actually practicing the victory formation?
Because they never do it. So they need.
They were over on the sideline practicing. My son showed me that. He said, I thought he was kidding. He said, no, they're really practicing it over on the sideline. Utah beats North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks. 37-16. Oklahoma State 59-24 over Tulsa, and Arizona State. Man, what does this say about Arizona State? 37-31 winners over New Mexico.
And how about this? What does it say about Blake Barnett? I'm not trying to take a shot at it.
Here we go. Everybody with the Lane Kiffin book of insults.
But I'm just saying, Blake Barnett was, he had to transfer in the middle of the season.
Sometimes you find out why people transfer.
Exactly. And he had to leave in the middle of the season, leaving his teammates hanging in case something happened to Jalen Hurts. And he goes to Arizona State and can't win the job there either.
And probably
maybe football's not his thing, and that's okay.
And now that you look at it, you're like, well, even if Jalen Hurts had gotten hurt, glad he didn't come in as the backup. Exactly. So, but that's some games from Thursday night. Obviously, the Ohio State-Indiana game, Ohio State wins 49-21. Arkansas, first SEC team in action there, 49-7 over Florida A&M. It's Florida A&M, but Arkansas, did you take anything away? Austin Allen? What did you think about Austin Allen's performance?
I saw some of the game. I saw Austin Allen throw a pick.
He was one. 14 of 19, 135 yards.
It was 21-7 at the half. My first inclination is to say, 49-7 we won't. Nobody will remember that game. That game's not going to be DVR'd by even the most ardent Arkansas fan.
No.
But the images I remember from that contest are, I don't know that this team's going to be any sharper, and I think I was just way off with my prediction. I thought Brett Bielema would be good for Arkansas. I really did.
I think I had them close to the bottom in the West.
But I'm saying as a whole, as a program.
You're talking about when he got to Arkansas. Well, when I think he arrived from Wisconsin, a lot of people felt the same way you did. They thought, well, he's coming with a hard-nosed mentality. He's going to pose a problem. He's going to get big offensive linemen. He's going to get big-time running backs, and they're going to grind you to death, and they're going to wear you down. And he has fallen susceptible to the style of offenses in the SEC. Nick Saban knew that he couldn't keep going down the road he was going on. It was not going to be as successful as he wanted, so he had to change. So he's opened up his offense. Brett Bielema, it's all he's ever known how to do, Luke, and he's tried to change, and he's done it kind of half-heartedly, and it's just not working. Arkansas's program is going nowhere, in my opinion. I think there is in the wilderness as it is like in our minds to get to Fayetteville. You know, they're so far away from everybody else in their philosophy and their strategy that they're lost, and they just feel like a team that's mediocre at best.
Well, here's the thing. Arkansas, in terms of recruiting base, the only two schools that may have a recruiting base as bad as theirs.
South Carolina's one.
I would say, actually, South Carolina. You think about who's come out of South Carolina.
Well, I understand, but it's been few and far.
I would say the two that have the worst recruiting bases are Kentucky and Missouri, and they're both in the East.
Yeah.
And so you don't play them every year.
That's right. That's right. Missouri was going to be my other one. I mean, I guess you can throw Kentucky up there if there has to. I mean, and if you say South Carolina, they're in the East too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to add them in there, difference of opinion. But you're right. I mean, Arkansas is just geographically at a disadvantage. They were in the Southwest Conference over there before they came to the SEC. They really compete against a bunch of Big 12 teams. And do you want to play in the SEC, and do you want to be on a team that really doesn't have an identity in the SEC? I don't know, man. It just Michael's got all of our predictions. He made us do all of our predictions on the SEC schedule all the way out. I can't remember my win-loss total for Arkansas in the conference, but it's not good. And even though they won 49-7 over Florida A&M, it's about what I figured. Austin Allen only 135 yards passing with a TD and a pick. So, man, the competition is going to get obviously tougher and tougher. Moving on, Saturday, a full slate of games. We'll go back to Alabama right here and talk about this game tonight at 7 o'clock, the premier matchup in the Dome. Mercedes, did you see any of the preseason game with Atlanta the other night with Jacksonville? Did it look like it was in the daytime?
It did.
The new lighting in there? I turned it over. I'm like, are they playing that in the afternoon? Or I mean, it was the new lighting in that stadium. Obviously, it's LED and all. It looked like a 11:30 kickoff or a 1:30 kickoff in the middle of a Saturday. I mean, it was just so bright in there, and they were playing that game at 8 o'clock at night. That arena, just so much surrounding this game. Again, I hate to have that caveat as, okay, if you go out there and lose, you're still not. But, I mean, I think you have to, as a player and a coach, say in the back of the mind, say, look, yeah, we want to win. We want to get off on the right foot. Obviously, a win is the way you want to go. And a loss, you got to recover from that, and you got to get back right mentally, which I think either team can do. But that game right there, yes, while it's so much intrigue around it and the excitement of a 1 versus 3, both teams still have a great shot at getting to the playoffs through their own conference.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and that's great. But I'm sort of looking at this as
you sounded like you just opened up a Christmas present that you didn't quite get
right. I didn't quite dig.
That's great, but you know,
I kind of wanted something else. Kind of wanted a remote control car, not that sweater.
That's right.
But I'm looking forward to it, and I think that the team that wins, I heard David Pollock say, my playoff set, 25% in. And I don't agree with that either. You still got 11 games to go through at least before you get there. But whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Everybody's got their own side. What are the keys for this game for both? I'm going to say this. You know, you said that who was it? You said that was breaking. It was Danny Cannell breaking down. He moved the ball for a quarter last year. Well, what about? I can't get the vision of how Ole Miss played Florida State in Game 1 last year and how they were just physically beating Florida State up. And Francois, I thought, was going to be toted off on a stretcher because he had gotten hit so many times. I can't get that vision out of my mind. I can't get the vision of Florida State getting pummeled by Louisville last year out of my mind. So if you want to talk about things that want to pop back, I mean, that kind of stuff just – is there. So I'm not bought in and I'm not sold on Florida State, and I think Alabama's going to win the game. And I think it'll be close for a while, but I think Alabama will end up winning by 10 or 11 points. So we'll see how that all plays out. We got to get to a break. We come back, we'll wrap up that talk. Auburn, Georgia Southern. What's your thoughts on that matchup? Georgia Southern 5-7 last year, not your typical Georgia Southern season, but Jarrett Stidham. What will we see tonight on the Plains? Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown coming your way right after this.
Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Lyman Ward Military Academy is currently accepting applications for fall enrollment with cadets reporting on August 19th. New drone and STEM programs added to the curriculum for the 2017 and 18 school year. If you're looking for structure, one-on-one academic help, athletic excellence, as well as leadership training, Lyman Ward is the school for you. For more information, visit our website at lwma.org or call our admissions director, Wynn Fletcher, at 256-675-6269.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cash aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. About 30 minutes left in the show. Luke looking forward to getting home to catch a nap. Me too, a little bit. Has been a long 24 hours with the start of high school football, the scoreboard last night, and then getting up early for you guys out here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. But, you know, you look at this Auburn versus Georgia Southern game. Luke, obviously it's not a premier matchup. Auburn, really, their premier matchup's next week on the road at Clemson, South Carolina. This is not a team, though. If you're Auburn mentality-wise, you got to come out and you got to be sharp. You got to do the right things. You can't look past because you got a fan base that's rejuvenated and it's excited about Jarrett Stidham coming out there and frankly trying to get off the snide of being an 8-4 team. It's what Auburn's trying to do. And Georgia Southern, they've proven over the years they can be a problem. Ask Florida, ask Georgia, Alabama. As you know, Nick Saban had that famous quote about the 10 horn when Georgia Southern just ripped through a very good defense. That's what you got to be ready to play, man. And you know, I said this the other day. I said, how can you not be ready to play in your first game of the season? But when you got a team like Clemson on the horizon, and you got a Georgia Southern, I can see where teams are like, I know we got to get through this, but Clemson next week. You got to take this one serious, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, and also it's 6:30, which I think benefits Auburn a lot. It's the opening game. It's Jarrett Stidham's opening game. A lot of people are going to be interested to see if Auburn's actually going to throw it around a lot, if Gus Malzahn's actually going to take his hands off the reins. And so there's a lot to be intrigued about. How will Auburn's defense look after losing a couple of guys that have been along that line for quite some time? And so there's a lot to be happy about. The best kicker in the country is coming back. There's some things for Auburn to be excited about. This isn't just your regular ho-hum game, even though it's a 34-point spread, and I get that, and I think that's about where it should be.
I think Auburn will cover.
Yeah, I do think Auburn will probably cover, but you've seen predictions run the gamut. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Auburn got close to 50 and Georgia Southern only got about 14. I mean, that's about where I see this going. The other thing is Georgia Southern starting a freshman, and they're going back to this offense. They weren't in this offense last year.
That's right.
So they're gonna have some growing pains too.
That's right.
If I were Georgia Southern, the one thing I would try and do is just ball control, turn it into something boring. If you can do that, I don't know that you're going to be able to do that, but I'm talking about drain every last second off the play clock, try and get Auburn out of some kind of rhythm so that the score looks respectable. I don't think there's a game plan known to man where Georgia Southern can win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think obviously when you look at the two teams, then that's the way the game's supposed to go. But we all know again, the things that we can't predict is how a team will come out and how fired up. It's the first game of the year. You got to be fired up. You're playing somebody other than yourself. They've been in practice. So a 34.5-point spread now for this Auburn-Georgia Southern team that's coming in at 6:30 tonight. Again, a 5-7 Georgia Southern team last year, going back to their roots where they run the triple option out of the I formation. It'll be something to behold. So Jarrett Stidham, I think it's where it starts with a conversation for Auburn. How free will he be to throw it around? How will he look? Will he be rusty? I mean, obviously he hasn't played a college football game since 2015, so Auburn fans need to understand that. If he throws one, I mean, he's probably going to be geeked up on his first throw. He may throw it 10 feet over the receiver's head, and he may throw it 20 yards down the field past the intended receiver. He'll get that. He'll work his way out of that. So, but if he's not as sharp and crisp as everybody would like for him to be in the first half, I think everybody needs to just hold on. I mean, they don't need to hit the panic button. The running game for Auburn, obviously, Kerryon Johnson, Cameron Petway, Cam Martin, Devin Barrett. How much playing time will Devin Barrett get? What will we see? The offensive line is supposed to be a strong suit for Auburn. On the defensive side of the football, I think you're just looking for solid play, dominating an opponent that you're supposed to dominate. How will that look back there from a defensive side of things? There's not a lot to break down in this game. It's 34.5. I think all of our analysis next week, Luke, will be on how Jarrett Stidham looked. I think when we come back and we talk about Auburn, Georgia Southern, we're going to talk about what did we see? Did we think that Auburn held him back a little bit? Did they let him just go wild? Was it a little bit in between? I think that's where we'll be talking.
Yeah, and the other thing, we'll be overanalyzing Clemson, Kent State, too. And
That's right.
There's not going to be a lot you can discern from either one of these games.
They're about to kick off in a few hours.
It's so funny. I listened to a show yesterday, and one caller would call in and say, I want to throw the kitchen sink at Georgia Southern, improve, and give Clemson so much to think about. And the very next caller would say, I don't want to show Clemson anything that may tip our hand about what we can do.
I don't think.
And look, in the end, it's just Georgia Southern and Kent State. I mean, you don't learn a lot from this. What you're going to learn a lot from is the next week, Auburn and Clemson. So it's okay that Auburn's playing Georgia Southern. I've also gotten the sense, for whatever reason, that some Auburn people feel the need to defend this game. People play these games. Auburn's just having to play it on game one.
I mean, there's nothing to defend.
I mean, Auburn is playing Mercer later. So is Alabama. I'm pro Alabama and Auburn playing some of these easy games as long as you schedule your Clemsons and your Florida States, and then you run the right through the SEC schedule. I'm fine with playing some of these breather games.
You need to have them for your players' sakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
seriously.
Can't play a top 10 opponent every
for
single
12 weeks.
You just can't do it.
It'd just be mutilated, be obliterated. So can't hold up on that. Some closing thoughts there. Chip Lindsey's new offensive coordinator for for Auburn. So I know you just said, does Gus Miles? We'll be analyzing Gus Malzahn's role. Was he over there in Chip Lindsey's ear and he doing all this, and or is he kind of away from Chip Lindsey? Where will Gus Malzahn be on the sideline today? Where will his role be? I mean, obviously he'll have a headset on. He'll still be making odd faces and fidgeting with his teeth and scratching, doing different stuff because this is his nature, nervous. But it's got to be different for him. He's talked it up all year that he's out of there as far as the offense is concerned. It's Chip Lindsey's. It's his show, and so where will he be? I mean, that's got to be tough on a coach because you've done something your whole life, and now you kind of handed the reins off. Does he wander around aimlessly, like don't know where to fit in? And because you got Kevin Steele running the defense, and you got Chip Lindsey running the offense. So some big time freshmen that you'll want to watch out there for Auburn today. There's a lot of them that are on the depth chart. Obviously, T.D. Moultrie on the defensive side of the football at that buck position. Where will he? Well, he'll get in the game. Obviously, Marlon Davidson not getting the start and still, with a knee injury that he's nursing, and that gives Nick Coe an opportunity to get in. He's not a freshman, but Nick Coe an opportunity to get in there and make his first start for Auburn at defensive end, and some other guys that we'll talk about in a recap next week. But there'll be some freshmen, some highly touted freshmen that'll see the field tonight, no doubt, for Auburn because of their depth chart and who they've got out there. We're going to go ahead and take our next break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. When we come back, we'll run down some games throughout the country. There's some pretty good games out there. Will Florida have enough players to take the field against Michigan? We'll talk.
Think of all the money they saved on airline tickets.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's one positive way to think about it for sure. Stay tuned. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Hello, I'm Harvey B. Campbell, Jr., the manager and founding partner of Alabama Consumer Law, LLC. We are a law firm dedicated to helping you, the consumer, from all kind of debt issues. We can handle Chapter 13s, Chapter 7s, and Chapter 12s, and Chapter 11s if you need help.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. We are a debt relief agency. We are a private company. We are not associated with any state or federal government agency.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you, gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
Welcome back to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Let me just say this, that we've been on the air since 2006, Luke, with our Sports Blitz programming. We've had some pretty unique moments over the last 11 and a half years here on Sports Blitz. And we tend to go back and flash back. We had an email chain going on some of the most unique moments. You forget about some of these things, but then you remember them like that happened yesterday.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of them that I remember when I think it was may have been you and me, may have been you and me and Randy, but the guy called in and he was talking about something, and he said he just yelled out Kentucky randomly for no reason.
Right.
And then that woman who told me I need to just keep myself out from over in Jordan-Hare if I don't like it, she cussed me pretty good. I remember when Randy got mad at me because I didn't think Spencer Region was going to be very good.
The Spencer Region scene up at JR's.
And he literally, Randy said, I don't need to take this from a guy who's never played football, and he just threw his headset off and walked off. And I said, okay, we'll be back in a minute with more of a very friendly Sports Blitz. Very special episode.
Hey, sometimes we do get heated. It's all good. You and I have had our moments of back and forth. That's what makes it fun. But some moments we can't really talk about as well. But just funny to go back and look and see over the last, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. Looking forward to many more years with us here at Sports Blitz and all of our program. Today, college football, plenty of games to watch throughout now till Monday. Obviously, Tennessee will end the NCAA college football opening weekend madness with that Labor Day game against Georgia Tech. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Kent State, Clemson get kicked off at ESPN here in a couple hours at 11 o'clock. Also, some 11 o'clock games for you. Bowling Green at Michigan State. Akron at Penn State. Isn't Terry Bowden still at Akron?
I believe he is. I hadn't really, it's not my week to keep up with him, but I believe he is.
It's not mine either. Wyoming at Iowa. I'm just going to run down some of the bigger teams.
Let me tell you what's interesting about that one. Iowa is like a 12, 14-point favorite.
That's right. And
Wyoming has a kid named Josh Allen at quarterback. He is going to be one of the top 4 or 5 players picked in next year's draft, probably. And Iowa has laid some. You talk about egg laying. Eggland's best over there.
Well, they're in Iowa.
Kinnick Stadium.
Yeah, that's it. And so they're in farming country.
Look, this is one of those games to keep an eye out for. I mean, Iowa is just notorious for losing games like this. So,
that's one to watch. That'll be on the Big Ten Network, by the way, for all of you here in this area that have the Big Ten Network. Maryland at Texas. Anything interesting there?
No, I think Maryland's. I wanted to believe in Maryland a little bit here, but I think they have a couple of suspensions.
I want to flip back and talk about a game that was played on Thursday night because I talked about Texas just then. What about Charlie Strong's performance at South Florida?
Yeah.
Opening up on the road. Where did they play out west?
That was actually
Fresno State?
No, but I think that was actually, you're talking about from last Friday when they didn't look so good?
No, they didn't look last Friday. It was that South Florida.
Yeah, they played somebody. I want to say it was last Saturday.
It was Thursday.
Oh, okay.
It was Thursday night.
They might have played Thursday.
I know these weeks.
That's how much I paid attention to Florida.
Well, I know. Well, they got down in that game, and it didn't look good. In the first half, they struggled. And everybody's like, here we go, man. Charlie Strong, maybe football's not for him.
Yeah, I know. But look, again, I'm not going to read a lot into it just yet.
But
I will read more into the fact that Charlie Strong lost to Kansas while he was at Texas than whatever against Fresno
I just want to make a quick mention of that. Cal at North Carolina at 11:20 on the ACC network.
And that's going to be at North Carolina. Carolina's like a 12-point favorite. I like this Carolina team, but here's what's going to be interesting for me is watching Brandon Allen, who's going to be their starting quarterback, who was at LSU. He was an interception machine, and he transferred to North Carolina when he couldn't beat out Danny Etling.
Not Brandon Allen.
Did I say Brandon? Brandon.
It's not Brandon Allen. Now I forgot. It was on the tip of my tongue. And golly, we'll have to look it up. It's not Brandon Allen.
All I can think of is Allen Jacobs, Foshi. I'm running through all my Brandon. Who am I missing? Well, anyway, he was an interception machine at LSU, and that may be another reason we have forgotten him.
Exactly right.
But he threw a lot of picks. He couldn't beat out Danny Etling, who is started at LSU, obviously.
Yeah, he was a transfer from Purdue.
And so he goes, look, maybe he just needs a change of scenery.
He does. Maybe so. We'll come up with Brandon's last name. I cannot can believe we can't think of. I'm thinking of Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall?
Yeah, everybody but the one we're looking for. NC State, South Carolina, man.
That one's going to be good too. I love Jake Bentley. I just think Jake Bentley's the bee's knees. I just like the kid a lot, and but it's going to be
see
difficult.
today.
It's going to be difficult. NC State, Cole Kubelik picked him to be in the playoff,
I
which is a little bit out there.
Yeah,
but if he's right, I mean,
he's
going to
look like a genius. That's why sometimes take that little leap. Scared money doesn't make money, right?
Columbus took a chance. Why didn't he?
That's exactly right. Temple versus Notre Dame. Anything to that one?
I mean, I think this is not your older cousins Temple team. They're not very good. And I think Notre Dame, Notre Dame better come out and handle their business here. They need to cover a 17-point spread or 18-point spread, whatever it is, because they need some goodwill in there somewhere. 4-8 ain't going to cut it. And they got Georgia coming in next week.
They do. Michigan and Florida. This is one at AT&T Stadium out in Texas, 2:30 kickoff on ABC. Florida just decimated, man. They've got a lot of character issues, a lot of discipline issues.
Now, there have been rumors, even as late as yesterday, that there's some more suspensions to come related to this credit card fraud thing or student card, whatever it is. And the other funny thing I saw on Twitter was Jim Harbaugh, his claim to fame right now is he's just not releasing a roster or his roster is incorrect. And so when he puts one out, it's got funky names on it or guys that graduated 10 years ago. And Jim McElwain has come out and said, well, I'm going to one-up you. We just ain't going to have a roster left. So there ain't going to be no need to print one.
Yeah, we're going to be pulling people out of the stands and former players if we can get some eligibility out of them. UAB's back in action today after the 2-year layoff and all the crazy stuff that went on with that football program. I know UAB fans are excited.
They got to be excited. Look, in the end, I know that it's an Alabama-Auburn state. It always will be. And I'm not the world's biggest UAB fan, but I'll say this: I'm really happy this is coming back. I'm fine with UAB's having a program. It doesn't affect Alabama and Auburn in the least, and so why not have one?
Well, speaking of in-state programs, Troy goes all the way out to the blue turf. ESPNU at 2:45. So
Troy gave Clemson all they wanted last year too.
They did.
So Boise can't take them lightly. But I think the difference will be Boise knows they can never take anybody lightly. Clemson can take people lightly and still come out victorious.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. So Troy with a long road trip out there to Boise. Boise on that blue field, tough to beat. Not a lot of people able to get into Boise and come out with a win. Charleston Southern at Mississippi State. Mississippi State, talking about laid an egg right out of the gate last year against South Alabama, who Ole Miss will ironically open up with later on tonight on ESPNU at 6:30. So both Mississippi schools over there, Charleston Southern traveling to Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State will definitely handle their business there. Appalachian State goes to Georgia. You better watch out. The Mountaineers, always tough on people in the early part. That'll be at 5:15 on ESPN.
Brandon Harris.
There
we go.
Finally. So
I had to look it up. It was eating me alive.
Well, I knew you had the Arkansas boys in your mind.
I know.
All the Allens out there. So South Alabama, again, at Ole Miss at 6:30 on ESPNU. Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee. I hate to say it's a crucial game.
It's crucial for Vandy for their bowl prospects. And I'm really pulling for them just for the SEC too, because if Vandy loses that game, it's one of those that people are still going to think, Vandy just Vandying it up.
Yeah,
I want Vandy to win this game very badly.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they'll beat Middle Tennessee. BYU versus LSU in the Superdome. Your thoughts on that matchup there?
I watched some of that BYU Portland State game, and it was hard to watch. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not going to discern a lot.
I think a lot of people want to see what Ed Orgeron does, and what kind of odd statement did he have about suspensions the other day? He's like, if I've got suspensions, I'm not going to let anybody know, and I'll take care of it internally, and nobody will know. I don't want to give our opponent here's that opponent giving them an advantage again. Just another bogus.
He is a future swamp buggy wreck, and I just don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to fall apart against Florida or against Auburn or against – I don't know who's going to fall apart against.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We'll take our final break of the show. We come back, and we will close it out with some predictions and your thoughts on that. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, and after 10 years of serving the good people of East Alabama and West Georgia, we're still doing business the same way, offering the best products at the best prices with the area's best warranties and installing them with the area's best technicians. With great customer service, a knowledgeable sales staff, and our commitment to customer satisfaction, along with the best selection of the latest technology in the industry, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. Shop with confidence. Shop at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
We got through all the Saturday games, Luke. We'll get to the Sunday games. West Virginia, Virginia Tech. This is 22 versus 21 at FedEx Field, 6:30 p.m. on ABC.
I like it. I like it a lot. It seems like everything about it is not where it should be. Like West Virginia is just, they're the program that they're like, oh, they're scary, but they're not elite. And Virginia Tech's sort of the same way, and they're playing at FedEx Field in Washington is sort of, I wish you were playing it'd be cooler if they were playing somewhere else.
I know it. I know. Texas A&M at UCLA, 6:30 on Fox.
Love that game. I think UCLA may stomp a mud hole in them, though.
Yeah. Texas A&M squeaked one out last year. It's at the Rose Bowl. We'll see how it plays out. Monday night, Tennessee and Georgia Tech, 7 p.m. Let me make a mention of this. Monday night, Georgia Tech plays Tennessee. They got to turn around and play an early game Saturday morning with Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State will in turn have had 2 weeks to get ready for Georgia Tech. And, man, let me tell you, man, Georgia Tech, they better watch out because Jacksonville State's got a tremendous defense.
Yep.
And Brian Horn, Brian Horn at quarterback. I know Rock Thomas back there at tailback. But defensively for Jacksonville State, they pose a problem there. And in such a quick turnaround, really only have 2 days to prepare for that if you want to look at it from a regular schedule.
Georgia Tech beats Tennessee and loses to Jacksonville State. I really believe Georgia Tech's going to beat Tennessee. Tennessee just lost Darren Kirkland for the season, probably their best defender this year. I just don't see them having it at all. I'm really down on the Tennessee program right now.
I think a lot of people are, and they missed their window there with Joshua Dobbs. Okay, we'll start with Georgia Southern Auburn. Keys to the game, obviously expectations. We'll kind of blow through this one real quick.
48-10 Auburn.
Yeah, I thought that Auburn could probably get in the 40s here, and I think defensively, I know Andy kept talking about giving up 150 yards rushing. I mean, easily, I think Auburn could give 150 yards rushing, but Georgia Southern could end up with 205 total yards of offense because that's just how they're going to play, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to throw it. They got a true freshman quarterback. Auburn should have no problem with this. If Auburn wins 21-10, I'm worried. Alabama and Florida State at Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, 7 o'clock on ABC. Keys to the football game here.
I think the keys to the football game for Alabama is going to be the kicking game. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's going to have to make a field goal. That's just the way it is. If it's J.K. Scott, Andy Papanastos, the true freshman, whoever, somebody's got to make one. For Florida State, I think it's going to be, can you keep
J.K. Scott doing the kicking for Alabama now?
He has done some, and he's booted some in practice under 50 yards. Is
this still an issue for Alabama? Can't figure out what's going on in the kicking game. Why is that a problem every year?
It's the issue. It's the issue.
Cannot get that one corrected.
Well,
for all that Nick Saban is worth and how good he has not been able to get that right.
That's when I think he's going to retire, is when he gets another All-American kicker. Even the one he had in Lee Tiffin was erratic at times.
I mean, he still didn't feel like he was a – I mean, you're not going to get a Daniel Carlson every day. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
That's what's funny is Daniel Carlson, he's from Colorado, but he's an Alabama fan. He grew up an Alabama fan.
And he just knew how bad the kicking was in Alabama and said, I'm not going up there.
I mean, can you imagine if Alabama had Daniel Carlson from 2013 on, I think Alabama might have 2 more national championships.
Just remember the little spoof graphic that went out with all the goalposts at Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it has been, Alabama has got tons to be proud of, but the one thing that they have struggled with mightily is the kicking game.
Look, if Daniel Carlson had been at Alabama from 2013, 14, 15, and 16, I guess he wouldn't be there in 13. But, I mean, if they had a kicker that was serviceable since then, Alabama might have 2 more national championships, maybe 3. Who knows? But anyway.
Or Daniel Carlson could have become one of the worst kickers in the country.
True. For the key for Florida State, I think, is keeping DeAndre Francois upright. Yep. And look, Alabama lost a lot of guys. I keep hearing they lost Tim Williams, they lost Jonathan Allen, and blah, blah, ball. That's true. But Rashaan Evans is no joke. Deshaun Hand is no joke. Deron Payne is one of the strongest players in recent Alabama history. And Raekwon Davis, they shot him with a gun, still can't keep him off the field. He's going to play. I just feel like this is going to be.
Was that his own gun that shot him?
No, I don't think so. Where he was shot, I feel pretty certain that was somebody else's gun. Yeah. but anyway,
depends on where it was pointed.
They needed an elephant gun. Is the only thing with Raekwon. I saw him at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game.
Yeah,
he's one of the few players, even at that contest, that I've ever been able to hide behind without crouching. Wow. I just stood behind him. I disappeared. But anyway, I think Alabama wins, but I think it's close. I think 24-21-ish.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that's a good prediction. Well, that's going to wrap up the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening throughout the state of Alabama, throughout the web out there where you're tuning us in. We'll be back on the air with more Sports Blitz program Tuesday night for Sports Blitz Live. For Luke Robinson, our producer, Michael Forehand, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. Happy College Football Saturday, everybody.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
The door is open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
In car ads, what is this? It discloses what you're not going to get that you thought you were. At Hyundai of Auburn today, buy a Santa Fe SUV. Get $4,250 bonus cash, period. Here's our disclosure.
Hyundai of Auburn's your straight talk dealer. $4,250 to spend however you'd like. Plus, most Hyundai of Auburn cars are built locally. Free major repairs for 10 years. Supporting the local economy and thousands in bonus cash to spend. Compare HyundaiofAuburn.com.